Zosimos is our massively online multiplayer collectible card game that we're developing for the PC. We're taking inspiration from Gnosticism, we're taking inspiration from spiritual alchemy, and a manuscript from 400 BC of the same name called Zosimos. Basically what it's laid out in the manuscript is, explains what spiritual alchemy is, how to do it, and how to create a pseudo-human, which is a homunculus. What we're going to end up doing with this is we're going to allow the player to create an avatar to go into a Renaissance Academy and sort of learn alchemy from there. You end up creating a homunculus, you end up creating a deck, and you end up going into the afterlife to test out how strong you are against other players. FI is really about two major things. First of all, we want to make games that are fun. So how we're going to do that is pretty much going to be bringing in the gaming community into our production cycle early on by getting feedback from them on our designs and then showing them off our core game mechanics, getting feedback on that and so on and so forth, so that we know that the game is strong and the game is fun. The second thing that FI is really about is uncorking the untapped resources that we feel are here in the Midwest and build a company around that. A homunculus is basically like I said before, is a pseudo-human. It looks like a human, acts like a human, but is not human because it's human-made. It draws from different essences in order to be what it is. In our game, we translate that into 3 different essence types, mind, body, and soul, which is what is created to make a homunculus according to the text as well. And these together would make a human, but it's not like a humanity like we know it. It'd be more along the lines of artificial. There'd be something about them that kind of off-puts you a little bit. Like, in our case, we're making that the bodies are actually of elements. So instead of like flesh and blood, it's going to be like fire and earth and lightning or ice in our cases. What makes Boz different from other collectible card games is, first of all, our homunculus. It represents the center of power within our game. You have a life total. Basically, it represents your life total, your life force within the game. And if you lose that, obviously you lose the game. But it also represents your ability to play other cards such as minions, spells, and ambushes on the board. And also represents how well you can attack and defend from other attacks directly onto your homunculus. So it's really a balancing act between those 3 things in order to keep the game going. The next thing that we feel is different is we're actually building functionality so you actually can customize how your deck and homunculus interact together with each other. We have the deck builder, which basically you can customize your deck, be able to form a strategy around that, and then place your homunculus on there that works best for you. Or you can do the exact opposite, because we also have a homunculus lab, so you can actually customize your homunculus that you want to play and then build a deck around that. So it's really what you want to do. The next thing is the layers of strategy that we have embedded into the game. You have cards there that handle placement scenarios. You have dice that handle random scenarios. You have to worry about your placement. You have to worry about where you place ambushes, where your bosses are lining up, and where wandering monsters and creatures are lining up. So there's several layers of strategy that we have embedded in the game. The next thing that we feel is different is also our 3D environments and our boards. When you're on the board, you're going to be able to play cards on the board, and if you play minions or have your homunculus on the board, you're actually going to be able to see them in a 3D environment in their 3D model splendor. So you can actually look at them and then also look around in the environment and see what's going on, because things are going to be happening in the background while you're playing the game. The next thing that we feel is very important on our thing that makes us different is our PvE kind of game boards that we have made up. Basically what this involves is we're going to have a board where you and another player are going to be able to on there, but there's also going to be bosses that you both have to defeat before you can actually fight against each other. Or you can fight against each other right away and then fight the bosses. It really, depending on how you want to do your strategy, really makes it an interesting gameplay for all our players. This hasn't been done before in this style. There are plenty of CCG games out there, but most of them are all from a top-down or isometric point of view and don't have 3D models involved with them. They have a lot of pretty effects. You get to see the cards a lot like what we do, but they don't have the 3D environments, they don't have the levels of strategy, and they don't have a center of power that is on the board and is in danger all the time of being lost. The battle versus Light and Dark, as we have written it, is pretty much that the light and dark are actually not entities in themselves, but more forces within the universe. The force of light in the universe represents obedience, order, teamwork, and peace within the universe, while the dark is more about self-centeredness, oppression, treachery, and wants to screw things up around in the universe. Pretty much they've been fighting since the dawn of time over one thing or another, and it's multiple entities doing what they can against each other. And so we've just taken everything about the two and just kind of amalgameshed them together so that they are one force within the universe. Right now in the market, there are several CCGs out there, but they don't have the MMO social aspect and they don't have the 3D environments that we are actually providing. In our environment, you're going to be able to go around and talk to people and be able to form guilds and friends and all this other fun stuff in there. And combined with the storyline that we have invested and the history that we're building into the universe, there's no other experience out there that you can actually see in the environment or see in the market today.